Mariya Didi, last time we met in Malé, we promised you the same kind of hospitality that you had given us so many times. I hope that's what happened on your trip here.
Oh, it was even better, Amitabh. It was just so much better. People have been so friendly, so open towards us. It's just been great.
And a very fruitful and productive dialogue, I believe, visit you've had over a week.
Yes, it was. We met the Honorable Defense Minister, Excellency Nirmala Sitharaman. She was very, very, very friendly, very simple sort of person, was very warm towards us. So it was a nice meeting. Interestingly, people at home were very excited because it was the first time that two defense ministers in the region were meeting, so they saw it as a momentous moment. It was good.
Give us a little bit more of the specifics. We've talked about it in Malé as well, how India and Maldives, especially in defense cooperation, have got back on track or are moving towards that rapidly.
India and Maldives, as we have always said, have been traditionally also very close neighbors. They've always had excellent relationship between each other, be it defense or any other. I think whenever like we've needed help from any nearby people or even otherwise, when we've had any sort of calamity in our country, we've always found India to be the first ones to respond to our needs.
You mentioned these times, the big occasions where India has responded, whether it was the attempted coup in '88, whether it was 2014, the tsunami, and then the water crisis in Malé as well.
Yes, exactly. Those three times when the people have been in trouble, they've always come to our rescue.
In terms of the helicopters, we've already seen that's been put to rest. The problems that were there in the previous regime, they're already being used. We've seen how the mayor of Addu was possibly rescued. There was a lady of 65-year-old who you yourself tweeted about, who could go home.
She was terminally ill. She has stage 4 cancer, and we were able to return her to her home island of Makunadu, which is very much in the north. I think one of the longest distances that the helicopter has traveled over the sea, but they did it, and it was just purely humanitarian.
So that's how they are being used there for the requirement that the Maldives needs. Yes, there have been lots of aspersions cast because of the presence of the helicopters and Indian personnel, but they're used for your need.
Yes, the helicopters are completely under our control. We request them for a medical evacuation or some humanitarian need or whatever. They don't fly without us requesting them, and then to where we say and how, it's used completely at our disposal.
How much of a movement has there been towards resurrecting and moving forward the coastal radar surveillance system?
Actually, for some reason, the Maldivian media and some media in India have really misunderstood this radar installation project. It was signed by President Yamin, and we're just taking it forward. Some parts of the infrastructure has already been put in, but we are carrying the project forward. Now, the radar is very useful because the other day also there were about 12 fishermen lost at sea. If we had had the radar, then we can spot it and go exactly to that place. That is what I was told from the Vinigili station we have, where the radars are being used to warn our ships as well if they are going too close towards the border. Like the other day, there was one Dornier called Kanduroli, a big Dornier which went into the Indian EEZ, but the Navy brought them in. But just to warn them that they are getting out of our waters and going out. So it's very useful, and also we can spot fish poaching and things like this. But Some people try to sensationalize it and talk of it as if, like, you know, it's something else, but it's purely being used for our domestic use.
To put those rumors or reports to rest, what does the Indian side do there, or what can they gain? Can they train there? Do they use it for relief? Can they use it for rescue missions when there is a need, humanitarian missions? What exactly does the Indian side do?
You mean the radar system?
Yeah.
The radar system is more useful for us because the Indians have technology through their satellite. You know, they can see everything. The other day we visited the fusion center and we saw all the ships all around, you know, so they don't necessarily need it. It's us who needs it. We spend so much petrol, time, energy, and our people searching for ships that gone missing. But if we had the radar system in place, then we can easily spot it and just go to the spot. But now we are spending so much of taxpayers' money. But there are some people who just, you know, just want to talk of something just for the sake of saying something, you know, saying that it's sovereignty and things like this. I mean, we know very well if the Indians really wanted to occupy Maldives, I mean, they've never had the intention, I'm sure. But if they do, you know, I don't know how we can stop it. You see, your Air Force, your Navy, your infantry, I mean, there's nothing we can do, but the way they talk of this is just being practical, you know, but if they really wanted it, they can do it. But it's not that. They are there to assist us, to help us, and be good neighbors. We both have the same interest. We want the Indian Ocean to be a military-free zone, you know, where there is peace always. Peace, stability in the region is what we, Sri Lanka, India wants in the Indian Ocean region. And so we have similar interests, and because of that, we are able to maintain this very close relationship and carry on for the mutual benefit of these two countries.
Mariya Didi, as you've said before itself, India respects your sovereignty, and in talks between India and the Maldives, other nations are not necessarily brought up at all. And here we're referring to China when you're talking about the Indian Ocean region.
No, India has never brought up our relationship with any other country. They've always been talking to us, and that's it. They've never brought up the name of China, Pakistan, or whatever. It's left to us. They respect our sovereignty, and that's something that we appreciate, and we talk as equals. You know, although we are a very small country and India is a huge country with a huge army, still we talk as equals when we come together and talk.
But again, you have been, when we talked to you last as well, and that the government had just been sworn in, you've had some time now to settle down and move your policies forward. In terms of the previous regime and how President Yamin was seen to be tilting towards China, that the government seems to have completely moved away from that scenario.
Yes, because we have similar interests. We are a country, our government aspires to democracy, transparency, respecting the wishes of the people. You know, it's not over militarization or things like this. You know, the MNDF is there to protect the people, and they respect the wishes of the people. They respect the constitution, and we move forward together, the civil government being respected by the military and there to cater to the needs of the people.
So in that case, you have been quoted also in the past that China is not needed militarily in the Maldives. You're looking at only cementing ties with India?
As we said, I said before, so we have similar interests, you know, in the sense political stability, Indian Ocean region being a stable region free from other military powers and things like this. So, and also because whenever we've needed military assistance of any sort, or even humanitarian assistance in the case of tsunami, we've always had the Indians come to our rescue. So as I said before, being having this kind of similar interest, wanting the same things, makes us, and traditionally also having been so close neighbors always and being friendly together. As I said the other day also, our fishing boat went into your territory, but the Navy slowly guided them back. So we've never had problems with each other. So I think we are good neighbors, we are good friends.
But you have your relations with other countries as well, including China. There has been a lot of economic investment in the Maldives as well, and India respects that sovereignty. So do you have to balance between India and China, or is that relationship
Since
clear?
we came into government, the Chinese have never even asked or questioned about our relationship with India. Neither has India questioned our relationship with China. You know, where China is an important development partner, and India is our traditional ally, close to us and always there to help us in times of need. So that's it.
Last time we spoke, the motions had been put into process of reviewing Chinese money, Chinese projects. Where has that gone so far? And I mean, even President Nasheed had said, if necessary, they would be reviewed. There was talk about the free trade agreement with China being reviewed. Where is that, according to the Maldives government currently?
I think the foreign ministry is more into that, so I'm not very aware of the how and where it's going.
You talked about the fusion center that you had visited here, the Indian Navy, the IFC, Indian Ocean region, and you think that kind of technology can really benefit the Maldives?
I think it certainly can. You know, it was very interesting to visit the fusion center and see the technology and things like this. And we saw inside your fusion center that they were setting up tables so that those countries who signed agreements with them can come and even participate and sit there at a desk and watch all that real time. It was really interesting. It's something that we would really like to think about.
And India and Maldives have again always talked about making sure that each other's territories are not used for terrorism. We've had very bad experiences with Mumbai, and there were fears earlier that maybe the uninhabited islands in the Maldives could be used in a similar manner. What has India and the Maldives done about terrorism or fighting terrorism?
I mean, all the things that we have spoken about, I don't think nowadays that we need to fear about conventional war, but illicit drug trafficking, violent extremism, terrorism, poaching of waters, all these things are things that threaten any modern society, and Maldives and India have the same interests in trying to prevent this piracy. And we've managed quite successfully to deal with these things. We have regular exercises every month, something that was started during President Yamin's time as well, but stalled when the relationship between those two countries went bad. But since our government was sworn in, we've had the Dosti exercises, we had the Aquarian exercises, and we have regular patrols monthly, but where your ships come and our MNDF personnel go on board, and then they go together and do the operations together.
You've also had meetings with the Indian Coast Guard. Any more developments in cooperation there? There's been talk about either enlarging a jetty or a port to allow larger ships.
I think we are going ahead with the UTF project that was also discussed previously. It had also been stalled, you know, where they are going to build a slipway there so that our Coast Guard vessels can be repaired there.
One of the big agreements when President Soli came was the handing over of the Dornier aircraft. Is that also progressing?
The Dornier aircraft was spoken about during President Yamin's time. Yeah, they had much discussions on that, but we haven't spoken about it yet. We shall see how it goes.
Domestically, we've been watching what's been happening, and President Solih is so active. He's made, after India, he's gone to the UAE as well. He made a non-official visit to Sri Lanka, of course. But internally, he's been traveling, he's been working. We've seen the pledges that had been put out in the campaign and how they have been fulfilled as well. But domestically, is the next big thing now the April 6th Majlis election?
Yes, Majlis elections. So we are all very engaged with it. We've had our primaries, we've selected the candidates in our party, and we'll have a huge mobilization soon. When I go back, I most probably will be away on campaign. So we look forward to, I mean, campaigns are always exciting. I can see campaigns here in India as well. So it's something that gives you the thrill. I look forward to it. I really like to go to the islands, meet people, and do the campaigning, and hopefully we'll have a good majority in Parliament, and with that we'll be able to go forth with our election promises and have our manifesto implemented, which is what we want to do, and that's the business we came to do as well.
The MDP, of course, has said it's contesting all 87 seats. Are there any hiccups in the coalition as such? Because the Speaker, Qasim Ibrahim, was seen to be getting possibly closer to President Yamin and the new party, and how the Election Commission was involved. Are there any hiccups in the coalition?
The coalition is very much together. You know, that's politics. You know, you have all these things where everybody's talking to everybody, and there's nothing wrong in that. You know, even though now President Yamin's in opposition and we are in government still. Everywhere in the world, when you have opposition and government, you still talk to each other and go ahead with it. So most probably that must be the reason why Qasim also has spoken. But the leaders are very much together. The government is very much together. We still have many ministries belonging to the other parties as well, and we work together as a cabinet, and we work together as a government.
Again, President Yamin and the previous government and President Solih, one of his key promises was about accountability. Now, where is that progressing, both in terms of the follow-up that the government is doing, or whether it's the courts or the police? President Yamin was questioned twice as well.
Yeah, President Yamin's been taken and questioned twice. We have to see things aren't moving as much as fast as everybody would like to, but we wouldn't want to be like the previous government where you know, President Nasheed was sentenced within 10 days or whatever, and like with what the UN later ruled as false charges, I mean wrong charge, wrong procedure, and wrong sentence as well. So we'd be very careful with how we go ahead, and we'll see, because we want people to be convicted of wrongs, not because of their politics.
So there's no witch hunt as such, as is what you're saying. In terms of cooperation, again, you've come from a much colder place than Delhi, in Shimla, where I believe it was -5, the army training center there. What more could India and Maldives do in terms of training, which has already been there for so many decades?
We are looking to India for making our army more professional, as I told you in my previous interview as well. We want them to learn to work in a democratic society, to cater to the needs of the people, and to be there to help them, not like before when they didn't really work within or the chief was seen as not working within the Constitution or what the Constitution had anticipated or wanted from them.
What you told me last time in the interview was what you would like to help learn from India and the Indian military forces on how they were depoliticized.
Yes.
How can that actually be done informally?
I think they would come for courses as well. They would come for attachments as well. They would be with the Indian forces, and they would see how the Indian army is so detached from the politics of the country.
Mariya Didi, we know how busy you are, and even when we were in the Maldives, I remember your schedule used to be 6 o'clock, the gym. I don't know what's happened over the last week or so, but I do believe your trainer is Ibrahim, right? Your trainer, the person who you train with.
Yes,
are you missing? Yes, correct. Are you missing him on this trip, or are you staying as fit as? Because you know him.
You know, I'd like to be fit. In Shimla, we really had to climb the mountains and things like this, and it was really snowing, and everyone was slipping, and it was good fun, and keeping fit helps. I'm sure. I do miss the gym, but then I love the food here, so I'm looking back to going to the gym.
I wasn't going to mention the food as yet. But again, Maldives' first woman defense minister, you've been multiple member of parliament, first woman lawyer, the first MDP chairperson as well. How much of a support is your family in what you do?
They've been very supportive. You know, I come from a family where we have 11 siblings. My husband's very supportive as well. He's come with me. He's an ex-military person, and he chips in with a little bit of hints every now and then when I become too political about things and get too passionate. But then we keep a balance, so it's good.
Again, it's been a complete pleasure talking to you, and we hope to continue this round of interviews with you maybe next time in Maldives.
Yes, thank you very much,
so much,
Amitabh.
ma'am.
Thank you.
So much. Thank you.